What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Strangers Minds. I'm Fernando, and today we're gonna check out Goose Pimples top 5 scariest TikToks of the week. Scary Comp V4. You know what? This is actually a pretty good playlist that I could start doing. Scary TikTok videos, because I know there's a lot of TikTokers that, either purposely, accidentally, but ultimately catch some pretty good paranormal caught on tape. And hey, I have one that is for Reddit. Let's do one with TikTok. But for now, let's see what this video, what Goose Pimples has in store for us.
It was just moments before the end of their late night shift when two hospital cleaners heard something that made them freeze in their tracks. It all started with the unmistakable sound of someone sobbing from inside a locked bathroom.
That's scary.
The terrifying moment was captured on the CCTV camera of a Malaysian hospital in Kuala Lumpur and later posted by the TikTok account Tanah Kabur on March 23rd, showing two cleaners cautiously approaching the door when the woman suddenly recoils in absolute terror. Her colleague saw nothing, but what she claimed she witnessed was so horrific and so directly connected to the hospital's darkest rumour that it sent her running for her life. Thankfully, the security camera was rolling the whole time. This is what it caught.
Don't mind him, he's just checking his emails.
As one of the cleaners
dude.
pushes the bathroom door open, you can see her reach for the light switch, but she never even gets to flip it. According to her, a man with a pale white disfigured face was hanging from the ceiling right in front of her eyes, which sends her into a full-blown panic. She bolts, stumbling backwards into the opposite wall, while her colleague, a true gentleman, hauls ass out of there without a second glance.
Dude, thank you for mentioning it, Goose Pimples, because I was about to just rip this guy. How you come on, dude? This woman face planted into the door, knocking herself out, basically. And this dude was like, F you, I'm out. Ah! Dude, that is wild.
Chivalry clearly isn't dead then, I guess. But this is where it gets really weird. The light inside the bathroom flicks on by itself, and the door swings wide open, as if inviting them in for a closer look. Then, just as you're desperate to see what's inside, the feed cuts to black. The uploader claims that the rest of the footage is missing, and that both this camera and another one down the corridor were found broken and had to be replaced. What makes this footage even more chilling though, is the hospital's dark history. For decades, staff have whispered stories about a man who decided to take his last breath in one of the bathrooms back in the 80s. Now, paranormal investigators would have a field day with this one. They often talk about two main types of hauntings: residual and intelligent.
So, for those who are new to the channel, I am a paranormal investigator. So, my channel is about reacting to paranormal call on tape. Residual haunting is when there is paranormal activity that is not intelligent. Obviously, residual would be almost like a record player repeating itself over and over and over. You'll witness paranormal activity, and it's just you cannot interact with it. You can it's not gonna really do nothing. It's almost like a hologram. No interaction. You're just experiencing paranormal activity. Intelligent, on the other hand, is a haunting that you could interact with one way or another. It'll actually communicate back. if you have, the right equipment, the right tools, the right capacity of being a real good paranormal investigator. So that is the difference between residual and intelligent.
A residual haunting is like a psychic recording of a traumatic event stuck on a loop. That could explain the sobbing and the horrifying vision of the man, a tragic echo of a past event. But an intelligent haunting is something else entirely. That's when the entity is aware and interacts with you. The light turning on, the door opening, and most importantly, the cameras breaking. Yeah, definitely not a memory on repeat. That's a direct response. Some would say it's a sign of a massive spike of electromagnetic energy, a paranormal punch powerful enough to fry the equipment to stop anyone from seeing what happens next. Of course, a skeptic might say the woman's mind primed by the hospital's rumours, play tricks on her in the dark, and the cameras? Maybe just a coincidental power surge. But how do you explain both cameras in the corridor breaking at the exact same moment? What do you think? A tragic echo from the past, or an intelligent spirit that really didn't want to be seen? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
So my thing is, the cameras could have been already broken, right? That is the only working camera. We are talking about, I'm not trying to say nothing bad about Malaysia, but security cameras in this country, having all of them working would be, nice, but I highly doubt. And when you say broken, like what are we talking about? Like somebody smashed it. I mean, he said something about, the a spirit punch, a energy punch or whatever. But yeah, a little bit more details on what kind of damage are we talking about? And also, who's not to say there was somebody in there, right? It could be they were told to go to clean a room. They weren't expecting nobody to be in there. If this haunting history is, public, yeah, she could have spooked herself out, go into a room, not realizing it, saw a guy there, and just flipped out. uh the face plant is actually very real, and this guy running away, very real. So whether or not it was paranormal activity is questionable. What they experienced is real.
Number 4. Not dead yet. This guy knew he was jumping into the deep end when he took a job at a funeral home. But he never expected his worst nightmares to come true during almost each one of his shifts. He had been hearing strange noises echoing through the coffin storeroom, and when he went to check on the noise, he saw something horrifying. He wouldn't shut up about it, but nobody believed him. That was until he managed to catch it on video.
Miren, como tenemos rato escuchando ruidos aquí en esta zona. Si vemos, pues está solo y creemos que pues hay algo aquí porque pues se empiezan a mover así como que medio raro. Miren, 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 miren. Miren cómo se mueve, miren, 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 miren. Miren cómo se mueve. No hay nada. No hay nada, no hay nada, no hay nada. Está mi compañero, pero pues si vemos estamos solos.
He thought that was bad enough, but then a few weeks later, while he worked a lonely shift upstairs, everything got a bit more physical.
Estamos aquí en la funeraria, otra vez, con ruidos raros. Entonces, pues está solo. Ahora sí, ¿cuál pinche que se ve? Que nada. Estoy solo en la chingada. Estoy solo. A la chingada. A la chingada. No mames, no mames, no mames.
After hearing more strange noises, Our guy grabs his camera and heads back into the storeroom, hoping to catch whatever was lurking in there. And this time, he gets more than he bargained for. Out of nowhere, one of those tall funeral candlestick stands is violently shoved over, sending him noping out of there for a second time.
No mames, no mames, no mames.
He then does a full sweep of the floor, showing that he's completely alone. The only other people in the building are the embalmers, working upstairs, directly above the spot where the candlestick fell. Now, the obvious theory is that this is the spirit of the newly arrived body lashing out. But some paranormal researchers have a much darker theory for places like this. One that sounds like it's been ripped straight out of Ed and Lorraine Warren's case files. The theory goes that a powerful inhuman entity can attach itself to a location and essentially hide behind the stories of the human spirits that pass through. It's a bit like what Lorraine Warren claimed to experience. She would see the tragic story of a human ghost, but all the while, a darker intelligence was pulling the strings, using the human spirit as a smokescreen. So, what if the activity in this funeral home isn't just from confused spirits? What if it's one single malevolent entity that gets a jolt of energy every time a new body, and its confused spirit, is brought into that building? This would explain why the paranormal activity spikes at that exact moment. But what's your take? Is this funeral home the new home of a sinister entity that uses the recently deceased as a supernatural battery pack? Let us know your thoughts on this one.
So, yes, I believe that cemeteries, hospitals, and churches, I believe, I want to say morgues could fall into that category also, would be a good, like a hotspot for paranormal activity. Jumping into the conclusion that is, a violent, malevolent spirit. No, no, that's don't do that. Don't do that. Because this is one of the reasons why I don't really. I mean, yeah, I enjoy movies. Obviously, scary movies. It's my thing. But I have a specific set of things that I like to see when I watch a horror movie. But we all know Hollywood tends to over dramatize true events just to make a movie. For example, The Conjuring. He mentioned Lorraine Warren, Ed and Lorraine Warren. They are the epitome, or actually, they are, I, I say this is my opinion, but they're the reasons why paranormal investigators exist today. And thank you, guys. Thank you. Um, Now about this, could this be orchestrated? Yes. Strings could definitely be, knocking over the candles, but you guys in the comment section, let me know what's your opinion on how they were able to do this right over here. What I liked is that he actually opened the coffin to show us inside. Because if he would have not opened the coffin, I would have right away said there's somebody in the coffin. But he opened it, nobody's there. Give me a let's use our PI minds and debunk this right here as best as we could, considering that we're not there. Now, I say that this guy, I'm leaning more to believing that this is a legit paranormal call on tape just because of this guy's expressions, like the way how he acted and everything. Like legit, he was curious, but at the same time, you could hear it in your voice that he was scared. So, unless this guy is a Telemundo novela actor, but I see every details, and it's not just about the activity. I see details as far as how people react. So with that being said, let's continue on.
Miren cómo se mueve, miren, 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 miren.
By the way, a huge thank you to our members of the week, Mr. Toffees and Jamie Nessie. You can join the wonderful people who make this content possible by signing up to our Patreon, or you can just like and subscribe. It's free and it helps a ton. Number 3. House of Dolls. This guy is extremely proud of his haunted doll collection,
Jesus.
so whenever he got the chance, he would show them off on TikTok. But through doing this, his viewers were able to pick something absolutely petrifying out from the footage he shared.
Nah. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, nah, nah. That's, oh, God.
After he clocked this doll moving, he moved her into his room so he could keep a better eye on her, which was when he realized just how sinister she really was.
Dude, man, Jesus Christ, just looking at it is just freaking, ugh.
But then his other dolls started moving as well.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, you guys. I am reacting like this. All of this could be orchestrated. But the only reason why I'm reacting like this, and I'm getting goosebumps, is because these dolls are hideous. I would not want them in my house.
These videos picked up so much traction that the owner was actually invited onto a television program to tell his story. But as he did so, the wrath of his dolls followed him.
Tanya, buat apa tisu om kamu tisu ada kata aku. Loh, siapa yang minta tisu? Enggak, aku enggak minta tisu gitu. Loh, tadi yang ke kamar minta tisu kamu kan? Enggak, aku di kamar di sini. Push. Apa tuh? Gerak bonekanya.
Enggak, aku di kamar di sini.
Now, this moment on the TV show is a proper showstopper, and the context is everything. As Haran is telling the host about the mischievous antics of one specific doll, Bella, a book suddenly topples over. And get this, the title of the book, Hilain Dalam Dekpan Sumeru, translates to Lost in the Embrace of Sumeru. It's a famous horror novel about hikers having terrifying paranormal encounters on the haunted Mount Sumeru. The irony is just delicious. But watch the doll's arm closely. You can see it move, seemingly pushing the book right off the table, and the timing is impeccable. This happens at the exact moment Haran is describing Bella's history of pranks. It's as if the spirit attached to her heard her name and decided to give a live demonstration. This takes it beyond a simple poltergeist bump. This is what paranormal investigators would classify as a targeted, intelligent interaction. Would you agree? Let us know.
Enggak, aku di kamar di sini. Push.
I would agree, but I would have to. It's gonna sound so wrong. I would have to play with the doll. I would agree, but does this doll have any mechanical, something to it? There are dolls that, just a stupid example, with the karate chop kind of thing. So, if it's just a regular doll with no structure inside of it, it's just cushion, the way that arm came down pushing that book, it was kind of violent. It was kind of, for if it was to just fall, but no, this went like almost like a karate chop. That is why I mentioned the whole karate chop thing. So now, you know, yes, let's just say there isn't a structure and it's just a flimsy doll. The was the book thrown or did it just fall off due to the weight of the arm just collapsing? But again, it was kind of violent. So what do you guys think?
Number 2. Sleeping rough. While exploring an old boarding house, this guy had been tipped off that something suspicious was happening inside. Many people told him to check out the 3rd floor balcony, so he went up to see what he could find, and ended up jumping straight out of his skin.
Sebenarnya itu kita sim takut guys. Selagi dia tidak berwujud, beta pun sim takut. Merinding. Beta pernah live sini tapi di sini beta paling takut cuk. Ini di balkon 3 di lantai 3. Oke guys, sekian. Anjing.
Whatever it was that he felt inside that building appeared to latch onto him.
Anjing.
Because then, whenever he tried to sleep, he would become plagued by strange happenings.
Cuma begitu.
A hanger?
Cuma begitu sah. Keluar wujud kah? Kalau cuma begini juga, beta juga bisa. Si ada di sebelah mana? Supaya beta jalan kau sih. Cuma bagian-bagian seorang aja sintaku. Tenang. Sibur jatuh guys. Mau mandi ke apa? Weh anjing.
Egging it on seemed to be making it 10 times more powerful. While you can make things sway and fall over in many different ways, the room he is in is so large and barren, there would be nowhere for anyone to set anything like that up. It was after he had the realization himself that there was nobody here to play a prank on him that the activity got even stronger.
So this is another day. But if somebody wants to create a viral video, they would go to lengths to create the thing with the hanger. It was just swaying towards one side. So who's not to say there's like something tied up to that one end. If it would have gone the other way also, that would have been more impressive. The little bowl that, honestly, I could be 100% wrong, but he kind of coughed at the same time that flew. Who's not to say he threw it himself? And you know what is interesting about the bowl is that it slid the opposite direction. So that's a little bit harder to determine. I mean, all of that, you know, the quality of the camera is not, you know, the best. So you're not gonna see a nylon string doing anything. You're not gonna see it. It's That's why it's called an invisible string. Um, could have this all been orchestrated? Yes, because the attentions of somebody trying to go viral is super high. Is this another day though? The bowl is not on the floor.
Rice cooker, cuy.
Something open and closed. The only reason why I repeat it is because it's hard to tell.
That's one way to ask for a biscuit. This poltergeist has clearly got the munchies and isn't waiting around to be served. But seriously, what in the fresh hell is making that lid flip open on its own? Before you start shouting, fishing line, have a proper look at the room. It's massive and wide open. There's absolutely nowhere for a prankster to hide without being completely obvious. You need to be a ninja with a fishing rod to pull that one off.
Not really.
So, what's the real story here? Is our guy sharing his flat with a particularly peckish ghost? Or has he just got a mate with some string and far too much time on his hands? You be the judge of this one. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Let's see if I catch it. Okay, look, I'm not saying that this is all orchestrated, but it is a possibility that it is. If somebody who lives alone has a lot of time in their hands and wants a viral video, who's not to say there's a string going up? You're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it. But the reason, you know, what Goose Pimples said, you know, the room is big and whatever. Yeah, yeah, it's big. But a nylon string could be just as long because it is, you know, it's difficult to break. So what if, and this is just me, what if since this lid is opening this way, there's a string connected to this corner over here, you know, a little hook, and it's going all the way to him. All he has to do is pull it. All he has to do is pull it. Why is he, you know, is he really afraid? Is he interested? What is he trying to do? Because in a way, going that it's almost like, you know, like what people do to cats or like to their pet, right? um I don't know. I don't know. I can't really tell if this is orchestrated or not, but we get what we get. And as of right now, I'm leaning towards that this could be real. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there because if I keep on, then I'm just gonna be like, this is fake. Let's keep on going.
Number 1. Shadow Man. This kid always felt as though he was being watched in his bedroom at night. He claimed that a shadow figure was lurking in his room and tried to convince his parents that he was telling the truth. But as most parents do, they told him it was just his imagination and try and go back to sleep. After weeks of telling his mum about the shadow figure, she finally said he could keep his phone by his bed to try and catch a video of it the next time it showed up. That is how he was able to capture this terrifying footage.
Bang, abang, bang sini bang, bang. Itu apa tadi bang? Itu. Tadi ada hitam-hitam di situ bang. Ada hitam-hitam di situ bang.
The video starts with the kid's hand held up right in front of his face. According to him, this is something that happens every time the figure is near. His vision goes blurry and he gets intensely dizzy, so he was trying to focus on his own hand to fight it. But here's the really chilling part. While his own eyes are betraying him, the phone's camera is recording in perfect clarity. He pans the camera left, and that's when he captures it. A tall, creepy-ass shadow figure lurking by the door. Just as he's always described, he's rightfully freaks out, shouts for his mum, and by the time she gets there, it's vanished. But this time, he has the footage. Now, that's reported blurry vision and dizziness are classic symptoms people describe during paranormal encounters. Some investigators believe these are psychological effects caused by the entity itself, or by high concentrations of infrared sound or electromagnetic energy, which can mess with your inner ear and even affect your vision. And the figure itself is a textbook shadow person. They're known for being dark, solid masses that disappear in the blink of an eye, especially when confronted, which would explain why his mum.
You know, I would like to know the age of this supposed kid. Because I always say in all of my videos, I tend to believe paranormal content videos when there is a child involved, because and I usually use the example, not every kid is a Macaulay Culkin, a Dakota Fanning, but this kid is good. This kid is good. Because not for nothing, if it wasn't because this it's almost too perfect, and when something is too good to be true, it's usually, not. But as soon as he saw it, the camera dipped and you don't see it no more. Could this be real? You know what? Man, this is if it is real, this is things of nightmares. Like, this is some real life Hollywood dramatization kind of stuff going on right here with this grudge looking thing over here. I wouldn't necessarily say this is categorized as a shadow person, because a shadow person is a complete black mass of a shadow, and this has a face. I haven't come across a shadow person anywhere in my 20 years experience in the paranormal field that a shadow figure has a face. So, is this paranormal? Oh man, everything in my gut is telling me no. But this kid made this video. This kid made this video. I just wish there was more than just a couple of seconds to really determine how far, if this is fake, how far they're going to take it. Because I also say that sometimes we see a very good paranormal video, and just because they decided to record 2 seconds longer than it should have, that 2 seconds was the determining point that the video was fake. But that is my opinion. What is yours?
Never saw it. For weeks, his parents told him it was all in his head, just a bad dream. But the footage proves it. The nightmare was real, and it was standing right there in his room. He finally has the evidence that something was watching him in the dark. The only question that remains is, what exactly it's been waiting for. There isn't anywhere for anyone to hide off camera to shake the chair. The glitching is already scary, but why is it levitating? It was lifted by only one ankle, so it's plausible it could just be someone on a surfboard really far out. But why does the figure look like it's walking on top of the waves? It looks as though the legs are moving one after the other across the sea.
Oh, right on point. So you guys, what Goose Pimples and Sleep is Cancelled is the same entity, just with two different channels. So great content creators, you guys. If you haven't done so, I will put their information in the description section so you guys could go ahead and subscribe and follow. And I would put the original video link in the description also, just in case if you guys want to watch this video without my commentary. But yeah. If you guys like what I'm doing, please do what you do when you like a channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.